The elders always said the forest was alive. To us children, it was a tale to scare us into obedience. Don't wander too far, they'd say. The forest has its own rules, its own laws. It takes what it wants. I never believed them. The stories felt like just another way to keep us tied to the village. But now, standing at the edge of the woods, I wasn't so sure. The air was different here, heavier, quieter. Even the sun seemed hesitant, its rays barely piercing through the dense canopy. I wasn't afraid, not really. Just drawn. "Zuri," someone whispered. I spun around, my heart racing. "Who's there?" No answer. Only the rustling of leaves in a wind I couldn't feel. I should have turned back. I should have run home. But something I couldn't name, kept me moving forward. The deeper I went, the louder the silence grew, until even the sound of my own breathing felt intrusive. Then I saw it. A figure stood in the clearing ahead, tall and unearthly. Its skin shimmered like moonlight on water, and its eyes glowed a deep, unnatural green. It wasn't human. It couldn't be. "Zuri," it said, and its voice wasn't just a sound. It was a feeling, a vibration that echoed in my chest. I froze. "How do you know my name?" "I know all who live near my forest," it said, "and I have been waiting for you. Waiting for me." My voice wavered. "Why?" The creature tilted its head, its gaze heavy and unreadable. "Because the forest is dying, and you are the only one who can save it." I laughed nervously, the sound unnatural in the stillness. "I think you've got the wrong person. I don't know anything about saving forests." "But you do," it said. "You hear its whispers. You feel its pain. You are connected to it in ways the others cannot understand." I opened my mouth to argue but stopped. It wasn't wrong. For as long as I could remember, I'd felt something when I was near the forest. A pull, a presence. I'd ignored it, buried it, but it had always been there. "What do you want from me?" I asked, my voice small. "To save the forest," it said simply. "But there is a price." "Of course there is," I muttered. "What kind of price?" "You must leave your village behind. You can never return." My heart stopped. "Never." The creature nodded, its glowing eyes steady. "The choice is yours, Zuri, but you must decide quickly. The forest's time is running out." I stepped back, shaking my head. "No, I can't. I have a life in the village. People who..." "Zuri." I spun around to see Kian running toward me. His dark curls were wild, his chest heaving as if he'd sprinted the whole way. "What are you doing here?" he demanded, grabbing my arms. "Do you have any idea how dangerous this place is?" My voice caught. His eyes flicked to the creature behind me, and his grip tightened. "What is that?" "It's the guardian of the forest," I said. The words sounded ridiculous even to me. Kian's brow furrowed. "We're leaving. Now." "You can't leave," the guardian said, its voice calm but commanding. "Not without making your choice." "What choice?" Kian snapped. I explained, my words tumbling over each other. Kian's face twisted with disbelief, then anger. "No," he said firmly. "This is insane. You're not staying here. Let the forest die if it has to. You belong with me, Zuri." Tears stung my eyes. "Kian, I can't let that happen. The village depends on the forest. We all do." "I don't care," he shouted, his voice breaking. "You don't owe this forest anything. You owe us."
"Me."
The guardian stepped forward, its presence filling the space between us. "The choice is yours, Zuri," it said again. "But choose quickly." I looked at Kian, at the boy who had been my everything, and then at the forest, its pain echoing in my heart. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "No!" Kian reached for me, but it was too late. I stepped toward the guardian. The air shifted, the world tilting as the forest came alive around me. I felt its energy surge through me, ancient and overwhelming. "Zuri." Kian's voice grew distant, swallowed by the forest. Years passed, though time felt strange in the forest. The trees grew strong again, their leaves lush and vibrant. I became one with the woods, my life entwined with theirs. Sometimes, on quiet nights, I would hear footsteps at the forest's edge. And once I saw him, Kian, older now, his hair touched with gray, but his eyes as bright as ever. He held a single flower, the kind I used to love, and stood there silent. My heart ached, but I smiled. Though I could never return, I knew our love hadn't faded. It had simply found a new way to grow, like the forest, eternal and alive.